I just want to tell you, when I actually went back and looked at it, it's three people in the manga from back in the damn day. Is the reason why Whitebeard, Roger, and Odin was the top three monsters. Them niggas had gold conqueror Saki. Nobody else got that shit except for most likely Luffy, Ace, and Sabo.
Well, the
Just
gold
letting you know. No, real shit. I'm not joking.
Wait, so
I'm not joking.
wait, so you
I'm
said
dead
like
What's he
ass.
trying to cook? What's he trying to cook?
you're
How
saying
confused.
Roger, Whitebeard, and Odin had the gold hockey?
Yeah, like
In
if you
what?
look at the conqueror Saki,
Are
like
we talking about anime? What are we
Old-
talking about?
no, in the manga.
There's not color in the manga.
What? The official colored manga is not colored?
Nigga, where's there an official colored manga?
Yes, go to the official colored
I think there's
manga.
an official
Well,
color.
white.
I
Yeah,
didn't
there
know
is
there
an
was an official color.
Yeah, that's the one I'll be looking at. The official coloring. If you look at the official colored manga of One Piece when Whitebeard first met Odin, when they clashed, the Conqueror's lightning wasn't like purple, blue, or red like Shanks, Kaido, and Yamato them. It was gold. And Roger did it when he did it Kamasari on Odin.
But it's red though.
Yeah, I'm seeing
No,
red.
no,
here.
no, no, no. Like in the let me post the shit.
What are we talking
It's in the
about?
they changed it. They
They
changed
changed it?
Odin's. Yeah, real shit. They actually changed Odin's.
Wing. Every
I mean,
other
not
material has it red.
Now,
And you-
and I'm finna show you.
A few minutes later.
Definitely
Bro,
not.
he finna get packed up just like Jiraiya.
Listen. I don't want Garp to die. I just say that I don't want Garp to die. I don't want that to happen. But
What
But
if
I
it
don't
happens?
But I don't want Kuzan to lose.
Garp, the Navy's entire legacy rests on Garp's shoulders. So
kind of, sort of.
The
Yeah.
thing
How?
is, like, Garp fighting.
Wait, not on
Aokiji
Garp's
here
shoulders,
is, like,
on
the best
Aokiji's
chance.
It's on
shoulders.
Kobe's shoulders.
It's on Aokiji's shoulders.
How's it on? Nigga, what?
I'm talking about for the
Because he
admiral,
holds his life.
for the admiral
He holds his
agenda.
life in balance.
The agenda's on Aokiji.
The admiral agenda is on
Aokiji?
Aokiji's shoulders.
Yeah.
Brago,
I mean,
what
he's-
if Kuzan
he's not
Kuzan
gonna
actually
lose.
loses a Blackbeard?
Then the animals are trash.
Okay.
Wait. To
Wait,
Blackbeard?
Kizaru?
To Blackbeard?
Finally.
If
I mean, I
Kizaru,
heard
if
you say
Kizaru
it.
loses to
I
Blackbeard,
heard you say it. I
No, I
finally
mean,
heard you
what
say
if
it, bro.
Kuzan loses to Garp?
then
Actually?
the animals are trash.
I put it in the end call.
I feel like what's gonna happen is like Shiryu is gonna come.
If
bro,
Kuzan
like-
loses to Garp straight up, then I'm like, I wash my hands, bro. I wash my hands.
I tried to tell you.
Really?
I wash
Why
my
did they
hands.
recolor it? What is
yeah,
this?
if he
No,
loses, it's gonna be
that-
bad. It's
don't-
gonna be bad.
I don't like that take because nigga, a year from now when it's like, oh, Akainu was. I mean, goddamn, why do I keep calling the name?
The thing is, like, Kuzan is a top
Aokiji-
tier.
He was
Admiral.
he was taking the fall. He's part of Sword, blah blah blah, and then niggas are gonna spin the narrative. That's a fucking L take, bro.
No, but I mean, if you find that out, then the opinion changes.
Garp's full.
No,
Hey,
see,
bro,
that's
I-
a pivot. That's an L, bro.
That's a pivot.
Yeah.
Yes,
Bro,
it is.
You see what
That's
I
like
just posted?
creating a
Wait,
double
wait,
negative
wait.
standard,
I think
bro.
we gotta change the narrative that changing your mind is a bad thing with new information. That's not a bad
There's
thing.
look.
That's not.
It's
Yeah.
okay to
Nothing
change your
wrong with that.
mind. It's okay to change your mind, but to say that these niggas are now trash because he took an L is a little
no,
bit
no,
wild,
no.
bro.
Well, I think he's being
no,
hyperbolic whenever he says it.
Whitebeard's
Yeah,
pants
he's so
are,
trash.
are the wrong color in this.
Yeah, it'd be
What
hyper.
is
It's a bit hyperbolic, Godcaster. But I'm saying if you are Aokiji was supposed to be the fleet admiral if you won, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if he's supposed to be the fleet admiral, and he's getting packed up by Garp, who's clearly not close to his peak.
Okay, so when we say packed up, what do we mean?
He lost.
Midday
Yeah,
five
but-
Any
Well,
L,
yeah.
any L.
He
is-
Yeah,
he
he
just
doesn't
lost.
have-
Period. He just lost.
It would be an embarrassment for the admirals.
No, I agree.
Especially with what Garp was talking about this chapter.
Yeah,
about
Garp
how
said
we
he's
got-
not the same guy, and you lose to the guy that's not the same guy. You're the number one protege. An L.
Okay,
Embarrassing.
here's why I don't like. Let me expand more on why I don't like that take. Because Garp is heralded as like the rival of Roger.
Where's
right?
Roger right now?
Nigga, that nigga died from pirate
He's
AIDS,
dead.
bro.
He's dead.
Yeah,
From
but
pirate AIDS.
the
But-
issue is these dudes
but-
hold Akainu in that regard, and Kuzan's supposed to be somewhat comparable. That's
I
the
don't
issue.
know if they hold them in that exact regard because you're talking about the the top two niggas of the old world, bro.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
That's
like,
the old world.
So no, because
We're saying like basically.
no. Let me spin it to you like this. Is it fair to compare MJ and LeBron?
Yes.
people do it all the
In
time.
certain aspects,
Yeah.
sure.
It's
Sure.
solid.
But I think
Wait, question.
I think the argument will always be a little bit theoretical, right? Because like
But I said theoretical.
No, what I'm saying is though,
You know.
Godcaster.
Yeah, but it's like Godcaster. It's like this. If Jordan played LeBron now and Jordan won, it'd
and
be an
Jordan.
issue.
I know, but if Jordan was 40 years old, and LeBron is 25,
Right.
and
right.
Jordan beat LeBron, it would automatically undermine this entire era,
Mm-hmm.
maybe
and that's
maybe
what would
LeBron
happen
had a bad game.
And if Garp beats out Kiji, it would do the same thing. People would say, "Well, see, the Admirals of today ain't shit."
Which would be
Compared
factual.
to the ones back in the day.
Which
that's-
doesn't even make sense.
that's fair,
to be-
but
to be
okay.
That's what I'm.
honest.
That's what I'm
So,
saying.
let me ask you this then: if other Marines join in the fight and get licks on Aokiji, and Aokiji just fights solo dolo,
Those are fodder.
that change
Those guys should be fodder.
There is nobody else
In
here
theory-
that matters.
They shouldn't matter.
In
They should be
theory-
fodder.
Nobody else here.
in theory,
They should be
yeah.
fodder.
They
But,
should
but
be. Who
listen,
knows?
if there's a caveat and there's like some way where Garp got the leg up or whatever, sure. But if it's a straight up mano a mano and Garp looks at Aokiji on the ground and he's like, "You disappoint me," and he walks away and ship.
Bro,
Like,
that ought to be
oh,
mad.
yeah,
Now,
he's
that
trash.
is
He's wrong.
incredibly different than just like, oh, this nigga took an L.
Any L is
Any
Yeah,
L,
but-
listen, any L is an
All I'm
L.
saying is,
any
you
L is an
saying-
L.
oh, you disappoint me is drastically more worse than just like, oh, damn, we barely made it out.
But even if Garp manages to take Kobe here, bro.
Hey, can I ask a question about that?
If Garp
Brago?
manages to take Kobe,
Yeah,
what if Garp sacrifices himself? for
then
Kobe?
that's fine. Then I'm okay with it.
I think that's
Yeah.
what he's gonna do.
That's what's
Yeah,
gonna
that-
happen, though.
yeah.
I agree,
Most
but like
likely
if he gets
some, like,
away and
some
takes
on
Kobe,
my-
but
Yeah, that'd
but
be kinda
Steinexus,
crazy.
what you had to say?
So if Kizaru, if Rayleigh and Kizaru had a fight and it was close, would you say that's a disappointment on Kizaru's part?
When we say close, what do you mean?
Like, let's say Kizaru won, but it was like extremely hard for him to win.
Yeah, disappointment.
It's like a high diff. Yeah, I'd say disappointment.
Wait, versus Kizaru versus
Rayleigh.
Aokiji?
Really?
Rayleigh.
Oh, really?
Yeah, disappointment.
Really?
Nah, I probably
Because
I'd probably
think
say
about it.
Rayleigh win that one.
This is the
Personally,
Rayleigh
but-
after, like, is this the rusty Rayleigh that we saw in Sabodi?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's disappointment.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
No, but
Brago,
then
stop,
like
please.
the reason why I might be going in Casa's favor here is that it probably wouldn't be an extreme day fight, but I do think Rayleigh would be able to put up a fight against Kizaru, right? And then as Casta pointed out, Garp is on a completely different level to Rayleigh because Garp was fighting the captain, right? And we're assuming, but I would assume there's a difference between like Rayleigh and Roger. It's just like assuming like equal rates of deterioration in strength. If Rayleigh can match an admiral in whatever capacity, I kind of would expect Garp, who's on a different level, to be able to match, to be able to do much better and potentially win against an admiral. Does that make any sense?
No, I
yeah,
I
I see where you're
understand
coming
that.
from.
I
Yeah.
understand that, but the thing is, with Rayleigh and
I
Kizaru,
think
the fight was so
They
short,
didn't match.
right?
Yeah.
And so I would expect Rayleigh to be able to match an admiral for that long. Like that's the expectation of the right hand of the Pirate King, right? For Garp, I think he should be able, like what he did. He got a hit in on an admiral at this point, or former admiral rather, right? But in a drawn out fight based on his age and where we presume Aokiji to be, him getting a W on Aokiji is a major stain on the current Marines.
Especially with Aokiji being in his prime.
Yeah, and Garp, and then Oda is drilling into our heads that Garp is not the same guy. Personally, I think he's setting it up for Garp to lose, and when Garp loses, like, well, obviously he lost because he's not the same guy. Because Garp is top
yeah, that's why
3
you
all
started
time.
off saying, "Oh my God, I got so weak."
Yeah, because it's
Yeah,
a setup
I-
for him to lose. That's why I say if
think
he
that-
does lose, if Aokiji does lose, That's why it's a major L.
No, I think I definitely agree with you guys on 2 points. So the first point being that in a drawn out fight, the old heads have to lose. But I think that's more of a stamina issue. Right? In a drawn out fight, I do expect even Whitebeard to lose against an Admiral.
Right.
It's more of a stamina issue, right?
Yeah.
And I do agree that if the Admiral, I wouldn't want the Admirals to lose right now because they're the new gen, and I always prefer when the new gen does better than the old gen. However,
it's the natural progression of things.
Yeah. However, like take Marineford for example. Whitebeard was able to incapacitate Akainu in 2 hits. Like if you go back through it, like he knocked him out.
Okay.
Right. So
how you got stuck up? Y'all always claim he got feature sight.
Well, let's not argue about that
hockey
right
works
now,
and
per
works.
se. But it's like he knocked him out, and it's just like if that was a fight, like where he'd lose in stamina, he's still able to, in a short spat, he's still able to knock him out. So like I'd kind of apply the same logic to Garp in that in a long fight, sure he'd lose, but if Garp just went all in and just like, bro, I'm gonna give you 2 hits, like wouldn't that be fair?
No, but here's the thing, Steinexus.
But Stein, wouldn't you argue that in an actual fight, Akainu would be facing him?
Yeah.
And would be on guard for 100%.
Off guard hits.
So
Off guard hits we were seeing.
But see, because
But off guard hits where we've seen. Steinexus, did you think Odin was going to beat Kaido?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not
Question.
sure.
Do y'all think
Aokiji
and Garp were on guard this shot?
Wait, but that off guard thing, sorry to cut you off, Casa. It's like I don't think it's fair because I feel like that's leaving out a lot of context. Like Whitebeard, like I kind of literally gave Whitebeard a hole in the chest while he was having a heart attack, right? And then he took off half his head, right?
That one wasn't off guard.
No, I know, fair, but what I'm saying is like Whitebeard didn't like go down to those attacks, even while mid heart attack. And then yes, one attack was off guard, but I feel like if you're going to do that equation, then I'd just be like, but then I kind of couldn't even like take out a man mid heart attack.
But that's like guard. I think okay, so there's like 2 things happening, right? Because we're dissecting what happened when we have to also look at what's important for the narrative, right? For the narrative, Oda always planned it for Whitebeard to die standing to Blackbeard, right? So at that point when Akainu went and he put a hole in his chest, right? Why didn't he just take his head off?
He walked up to him.
That's
what I'm saying, because Whitebeard can't die like that, right? And then no matter what would have happened to Whitebeard there, he was gonna keep going, right? And so I
agree, but then can we just use narrative to ignore like a clear fate?
No, but that's the thing. I think we gotta like parse it, right? That's why when people say Whitebeard destroyed Akainu, it's kind of looking like every other instance in One Piece when a nigga gets like an off guard hit from the back, nigga's out.
Odin was literally winning this fight.
He got snuck. Gone. Sanji got a clip from Zoro to the back of his head. He was gone. It took 2 hits from the strongest man in the world, and he didn't even knock him out.
And the thing about the Whitebeard off guard thing we have to take into account is like context in that scene, that he was enraged when he saw this was after Ace died, right?
After Ace died.
Bloodlust.
So this is like
bloodlust.
Here's what this is how I feel about like old guys. I feel like old guys, they can at times muster up prime strength, right? I just don't think they can use it consistently. I don't think.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What were you saying?
Like, I think I disagree with that.
Okay.
In this specific situation, so it's like, if it were a normal old guy like Rayleigh or Garp, I would probably agree with you, right? But when you had an old guy who's literally on oxygen before all of this, right? I feel like I don't feel like they can access their prime strength. They might be able to access maybe 70% of it or something like that. But it's just like, it's a hard case to make to me that a guy who's literally oxygen dependent got a wound at the start of the fight, half his head is gone, hole in the chest, but I just don't think it's fair to say, okay, go ahead.
I hear you, but think about what you just said. A guy who had a hole in his chest, half his head, basically took all the damage that he took, was still fighting against multiple pirates after that.
Yeah,
where
but that
like
just
where
shows
it's like it's hard to fathom even that. So like Whitebeard in his existence is an anomaly. So like I know it's like hard to fathom that he could access that based on his state, but the fact that he's able to keep going in the midst of all that he went through doesn't really take away from what I think Whitebeard could do at that point, because everything about him was kind of extraordinary.